It wasn't long before Michelle rejoined us, surreptase in hand. That's when she shared that as she was packing to attend the conference, she had received a message to pack that little bottle of surreptase. I was instantly intrigued. Now I knew that something was going on, and I had to get to know these people better. There was some connection Tommy and I both felt in that moment. This connection would ultimately lead to a very special friendship that I cherish to this day and always will. And it would take us down a path of discovery that would be life-changing for both of us, one that would completely alter the way I think about life and afterlife. What Tommy did not immediately reveal was that several years prior, he had been in a very serious hit-and-run accident. Dead for several minutes, he was resuscitated but left in a coma for weeks. What he experienced as a result of this trauma left him a profoundly changed man who was given special insight during his death and became a powerful spiritual advisor in his new life after death. As our friendship deepened, Tommy opened up even more to me about something he had held inside for many years, that during his comatose state, he was transported by a tunnel of light to heaven, where he met a spiritual teacher and learned fundamentals about health and healing. I was both astonished and fascinated. I consider myself a spiritual man as well as a scientist, so it wasn't hard for me to accept Tommy's account as genuine and valid. But here I was with a man who had no medical training but could communicate with me about medicine as if he had studied it his whole life. Tommy had what is known as a near-death experience, NDE. Throughout the documented history of man, all religions have shared one deep and common element, a belief that there is life after death. Our numerous formal accounts of man's speculation about having a soul date back to the time of the Greek philosopher Socrates, 469 to 399 BC, and his student Plato. It is reported that on his deathbed, Socrates was quite calm, and he attributed that state to his belief that he was going to a better place. Plato described conversations with Greek soldiers who had died on the battlefield and then came back. He said that all earthly wisdom is but a rehearsal for that great awakening, an awakening that takes place upon death. I'm no stranger to the NDE phenomenon. For many years I worked in emergency rooms, coronary and intensive care units, and cardiac catheterization labs where patients were suddenly brought back from the brink of death. I've heard nearly 20 NDE reports from heart attack survivors who subsequently became more intuitive, grounded, giving, and loving, and less materialistic after visiting the other side. Simply put, they changed. As if their DNA, the blueprint of all life, giving instruction and function to living things, had been reshuffled. Some said they were sent back because it just wasn't their time. Some were told they were to return to this life for the sake of someone else, or to accomplish something more meaningful. For example, there's a story of Myrtle, a woman who grew up in rural Connecticut, and traced her family lineage back to the Revolutionary War. She was a daughter of the American Revolution, an accomplished violinist and horsewoman, and a person who lit up the room when she entered. She first came to me for help when she was in her early 70s. Myrtle's doctors had not been aggressive enough in diagnosing her new and persistent symptoms. She had her husband Harvey, a country veterinarian who really knew his stuff, drive her more than an hour to my office for an urgent visit. She had already had a coronary artery bypass operation, so she and Harvey were quite concerned. I examined her and knew right away that she was in trouble. I heard turbulence in the right carotid artery in her neck, and that meant blood flow to her brain was in jeopardy. She needed to be seen by a neurologist right away. An associate in nearby Hartford agreed to examine her that same day. It turned out that the artery was so critically blocked that my colleague rushed her to immediate emergency surgery. A skillful surgeon was able to quickly restore the circulation to her brain, but Myrtle endured a cardiac arrest in the process. 2 months later, she told me the story of what happened during the operation. While being resuscitated, she felt herself leaving her body and floating up near the ceiling, accompanied by angelic beings. Looking down, Myrtle observed the doctors and nurses frantically trying to revive her, but she realized that Harvey was not with her. After 40 happy years of marriage, Harvey was her mate, partner, business associate, and best friend. As she took in